Picture this. It's 1923 in the Weimar Republic. A retired man clutches a lifetime of savings in papermarks, money that just 5 years ago could have bought a comfortable home. Today, that same stack won't even buy a loaf of bread. Across town, his neighbor, a jeweler, walks into a market and trades a single gold coin for a month's groceries. 2 men, 2 choices, 2 completely different outcomes, and it wasn't luck. It was understanding which assets survive when governments lose control of their money. Throughout history, governments facing financial strain have 3 options: tax citizens, seize property, or print more money to pay debts. Taxation requires compliance. Seizure requires knowing where assets are and having the power to take them. Inflation, that only needs control of the printing press. That's why it has been the most common tool used for thousands of years. Take Rome. In 64 AD, Emperor Nero faced a crisis after the Great Fire of Rome. He reduced the silver content of the denarius from 95% to 85%, minting more coins from the same silver to pay debts. Later emperors continued, and by 265 AD, coins contained barely 5% silver. Citizens who trusted the government's coins saw their savings evaporate, but those holding land, livestock, tools, or silver outside official coins preserved their wealth. Governments can't debase productive land or hidden silver. Medieval England tells a similar story. Kings could seize registered land and property, but portable, concealable assets like gold, silver, and gems often survived. Families anticipating confiscation could hide, move, or smuggle wealth abroad. Spain, in the 16th century, flooded Europe with silver. Spanish prices rose. The economy suffered, but Dutch merchants who invested that silver in ships, trade, and infrastructure grew extraordinarily wealthy. The lesson is clear. Wealth tied to productive mobile assets often survives currency collapse. The French Revolution reinforced this pattern. Paper currency called assignats, backed by confiscated church land, was over. By 1796, the currency lost 99% of its value. Those who converted paper into land, gold or silver, survived. Those holding only currency were wiped out. America experienced the same principle during the Revolutionary War. Continental currency collapsed, becoming essentially worthless. Farmers with land and livestock maintained productive wealth. Merchants holding claims abroad remained secure. The pattern repeats again and again. Assets independent of government currency survive, while paper claims fail. Germany in 1923 provides a modern example. Marks became worthless almost overnight. Bank accounts, pensions, and insurance policies evaporated, but gold, foreign currency, factories, and land retained value. The jeweler with gold survived. The pensioner with marks did not. Even in late 20th century crises, Argentina, Brazil, the Soviet Union, Zimbabwe, the same rules applied. Local currency holders lost everything. Those with productive assets, hard currency, or internationally tradable commodities preserved wealth. The principle is consistent: assets that produce value independent of government, portable and concealable wealth, and diversified holdings survive collapse. Currency-denominated claims die when governments fail. Productive, adaptable assets outperform passive stores of value over time. The jeweler in Weimar wasn't lucky. He held an asset that history shows never fails when governments lose control. The pensioner wasn't unlucky. He just trusted a system that history proves fragile under pressure. The real question is not fear of collapse. The real question is, do you understand which assets survive, and will you act before it is too late?